Welcome, wonderful potties, to a special bonus episode of True Tall Tales. Today, in honor of Mother's Day, I want to extend the biggest thank you to all the incredible mums out there. You are the architects of love, the guardians of our dreams, and the unsung heroes of who make the world go round. To kick off this celebration, I wanted to shine a spotlight on my own mum, who is a walking encyclopedia of hilarious, heartwarming stories. From the moment I entered this world, she's been weaving tales of laughter, love, and the occasional mishap that only adds to her charm. So in true homage to the woman who taught me the importance of laughter and the beauty of imperfection, I present you some true tall tales about my own mother, Carmen. So get ready to laugh, cry, and maybe even blush a little as I take you on a journey through the quirks and treasures of motherhood, because today and every day we celebrate you, Mum. Thank you for being the real-life superhero that you are. Let's dive deep into these tales and reveal the magic of motherhood together. Thank you for tuning in for this bonus episode for Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to my own mother and all the beautiful mums all around the world. We can't thank you enough, and I feel like every day should be Mother's Day. We do appreciate you. So, as you know, welcome to my new podcast, True Tall Tales. People come on the show every Tuesday and share their tale, but I thought I'd tell you some True Tall Tales about my mum because she is such a character, and I have 2 or 3 for a quick bonus episode to share with you, so I will start on that journey with you now. So sit back and relax and enjoy. Just to paint a picture of my mum is like, loves high fashion. Not saying she's this person that spends a lot of money on expensive things. She'll make it herself. She will get the curtains in the lounge room and she'll turn that into a dress and sew it. She's got her own sewing machine. So that's the type of person my mum is. She loves fashion. She loves presenting herself nice, and she loves being the center of attention every now and then. Depends what mood she's in. But, you know, my friends who, you know, seen pictures of my mum are like, oh my God, she looks like Solange. So she looks like Solange, and she has the personality 100% of Gloria from Modern Family. So you can picture what my mother is like. Now, my mum loves karaoke. She basically sung karaoke every day. I felt like me and my brother and sister used to be like the Jackson 5 kids, because my mum would dress us up. She'd teach us how to sing. She would set up a camera on a tripod, and should teach us like choreography and dance moves, and yeah, we would have to sing for my mother, and she loved it, and then she'd sing for us. Maybe, you know, my mum is Filipino, so maybe it's you know, in that DNA that they do love it. But anyway, my mum loves karaoke, and her favorite movie is Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Obviously, I've seen it, but for, you know, Gen Z, they probably haven't seen that movie. It is a great film. Check it out. My mum loves that movie so much that she bought the prints. You know how you can get the prints from the movie, so the actual photos. And as you know, in Ghost, the most famous scene in Ghost, for anyone that goes and does a clay pottery class around the world, they always do the Ghost where it's Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, and, you know, they're doing like that. Anyone that's seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone that's watching this on YouTube, the picture will come up for people who don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, my mum's favorite movie is Ghost, and she has those prints, and my mum always wanted to be a model when she was younger, I guess, but she didn't have the opportunities of doing that in the Philippines, and when she moved to Australia, she didn't have those opportunities either. My mum is very beautiful, very stunning. So what I love about my mum, I always call my mum an OG influencer back in the day, before influencers and social media was a thing. My mum used to hire a photographer or someone to take pictures. Aka could have been me sometimes if she gave me the camera, and back in those days, it's when you had to print the film out. So as I said, my mum would, you know, sew her own clothes. I remember coming home one day, and there was a Harley Davidson in our backyard in Bundaberg, and I think my dad had a friend who had a Harley Davidson motorbike, and my mum went, you know, and sewed herself some pleather clothes, definitely not leather, and from head to toe she was in pleather. She had these like glasses on, and she was on the Harley Davidson, looking like a rock star, as she does. My mum can pull it off, and yeah, she was sitting there doing she does her own photo shoots. So where I'm going with this, my mum always wanted to be a model, but didn't have the opportunity, so she'd create her opportunities herself. But she was doing this in her, I would say, late 30s and 40s. So when you walk into the computer room of my mum and dad's house, you will see one side of the room, which is family photos, and the other side of the room is a shrine. Now, a shrine of my mum, of those pictures that she took on the Harley Davidson, you know, with all her model photo shoots, and then her in other clothes and bikinis, and lots of photos of my mum. My mum, it sounds weird, she doesn't love herself, she just loves that, I guess, anyone of taking photos of themselves when you are in your prime, and that way you can look back as you get older. So you mum, go you. If you are watching this on YouTube, I will put some of my mum's DIY pictures of her when she used to take her own model shots and sew her own clothes. I think she is one of the most amazing women to do that, and you know what, she does this and does not care what anyone thinks about it, and that's what I love about my mother. So where I'm going with this, listeners and potties, is that if you visit my mum and dad's house, like I said, back in the day, my friends would come over when your best friends would sleep over, and they would see, you know, my mum's shrine wall of her photos of her model days of DIY, and I'd tell them the story like I'm telling you now, and they'd all laugh and they'd love it. They love it. My mum was very popular, but on the other side of the wall was the family photos, all in framed. And amongst those family photos is like me, my brother, my mum and dad, my sister, and then in a big frame, Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore in the clay, in a frame amongst our family photos. And everyone that, you know, comes over to my house is like, bro, what's with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze amongst your family photos? And I turn around as if it's a normal thing and say, oh, it's my mum's favorite film. And they're like, why is it amongst the family photos? I'm like, I have no idea. Maybe my mum thinks that it's her favorite movie and it's up there of how much she loves them compared to her family. That's how much she loves us. We're at the same level. Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, the love that my mum has for them is the same level for her children and her husband. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so going into my first true tall tale of my mum is the day that this would have been early 90s. 90s anyway, not early 90s, maybe like 1998. And I was in my room. I was in Bundaberg at the time, and I was watching TV. And like I said, my mum loves fashion, doing things herself. And she did say to me that she was going to perm her own hair. She was really excited about it. And, you know, my mum has straight hair like me. It's this Spanish Asian hair. And I guess, she, you know, like anyone in the 90s, all the women in the 90s got a perm, right? As perms are back right now in 2024. So my mum bought the kit from the chemist and she cut her hair and then she permed her own hair. And it takes hours. I'm not interested. I'm a young teenager. So I'm laying in my room and I hear something and I hear, I'm like, what's that noise? Like I thought it was the dog outside my window, and you know, I've grabbed the remote control, I've pressed pause, and I'm like, what is that? And I hear, why I do this to myself? And I'm like, what is that? Is that my mum crying? Is she okay? So anyway, I open my door and I look down the hallway, and as I look down the hallway, my mum and dad have a bar in the house, in the lounge room, and she's looking at herself in the bar mirror, and she's crying, and all her mascara is going down her face, and she's saying to herself, why I do this to myself? I make myself look ugly. And my mum has obviously permed her own hair and she's revealed it. And I think with the perm, you're not meant to cut your hair so short. If you cut your hair short and then you perm it, it's going to go really, really short. And my mum had long hair like me, beautiful hair. And I think she wanted, you know, I think she cut it too short and then she permed it. Anyway, cut the story short, which never happens with me, is my mum obviously cut her own hair, permed her own hair, and when she revealed the perm, she was looking at herself in the mirror, and her hair was short. So short that she looked like Bruce Lee. She looked like a boy. She looked like a man. And it was really funny because I've never seen my mum with short hair. And it was hilarious. So as I walked out my bedroom and I heard someone crying, my mum couldn't see that I was staring at her, and she was once again looking in the mirror, crying, revealing that she fucked up her hair and said, oh, why I do this to myself? I make myself look ugly. And she didn't like it. Look, it didn't look bad. She just looked like Bruce Lee from behind. So I was like, Mom, what did you do to... as a teenager would, right? Mom, what did you do to your hair? And just, oh, shut up. I do this and not go good. And I was like, Mom, you look like a man. You look like Bruce Lee. She's like, shut up. Why you say Bruce Lee? Like, go to your room. And I went to my room and I'm cracking up laughing. I felt bad, but whatever. She did this to herself. And she continued to cry and look at herself in the mirror and feel sorry for herself. And then I heard the back door of my dad, who's this like real Steve Irwin Bogan type of guy, who is coming on the show. So you will meet him actually on this podcast. But he opens the door and I hear it and I hear the slide door like, and it opens and he goes, Carmen, what the hell did you do to your hair? I married a beautiful Australian Filipino woman with long hair. What the fuck did you do to your hair? And why do you look like Bruce Lee? And then I hear my dad say Bruce Lee. So then I opened the door and I said, Dad, I said that too. She looks like a man. She looks like Bruce Lee. She's like, shut up, both of you. And started crying. And then she got an orange from the fruit bowl and pegged it at my dad. Anyway, that's a true tall tale about my mum perming her own hair. It failed. Note to self for anyone at home: I wouldn't perm your own hair. I would go to a hairdresser so you don't end up looking like Bruce Lee. I think my mum learned a lot from that experience. Hello, mum, if you're listening to this episode, Bruce Lee. Anyway, moving on to the next story of the true tall tale that I had for my mum. So last time I visited my mum and dad was a couple of years ago. They live in the Whitsundays, and my mum is obsessed with growing her own banana plants, growing her own mangoes, growing her own lychees, like anything you know it, she grows it. She's growing her own chilies. She eats it. She's proud of it. She does the cooking with it. It's actually amazing. Like, I love it. And so in real life, when I see my mum and dad, she's like, look at my chili, darling. Look at my mango. So good. Look at my bok choy. Look at my eggplant. I can't do my mum's accent very well, but my brother can, but you get the gist. Anyway, I love my mum because she's so proud of her plants and growing her own fruit. And it's amazing. Her backyard's huge and they've got it all. So I love that, you know. It's like Harris Farm in Sydney, but like in real life and growing it yourself. Like so much more of an achievement. Anyway, cut the story short, which never happens to me, she doesn't have a pawpaw plant. And at my sister's old house in the Whitsundays, she lived on 3.5 acres of land. And down the mountain, they had pawpaw trees. And my mum was like, hey, like, let's go see if there's any pawpaws in your sister's backyard. And my mum gets really excited of two things: fruit, like bananas and pawpaw, and seafood. Like, that's her favorite thing in the world. Like, that's it. She puts a big smile on her face. Anyway, she gets a machete, as you do. Actually, that's a lie. Before she got the machete, she said to me, I said, Mom, like, what's wrong? Like, hurry up. She's like, oh, you know, darling, I'm getting old, you know, arthritis, like, in my knees and my legs. And she's going on telling about her arthritis. And I was like, well, have you gone to the doctor's, Mom? Like, are you walking around the area? Are you exercising it? Like, what do you have to do? Ah, shut up. You not know anyway. This, you know, happens when you're old. It's like, oh, okay. So she went into this whole story how she can't walk anymore. And I felt really bad, you know. And she's like, I'm not as fit as I used to be. The arthritis is attacking me. And she was just walking slow and kind of like, I don't know. It was hard to explain, but like holding on to me. And I was like, oh my God, my mum's getting old. This is so sad. Anyway. So we're walking down, she grabs the machete, and I was like, Mom, do you want me to hold that? She's like, no, I know. And the machete's obviously, if there is any pawpaw, she can cut it down. So I'm walking with my mum, helping her. She's told me her arthritis story, and we're going down, and then there's this big, giant tree that's in the mountain of a pawpaw tree. Because as you know, anyone that's seen a pawpaw tree, they can grow really tall. So my mum sees it, and there's like, I don't know, maybe 9 green pawpaws growing off her. And she just grabs me and goes, Sonny boy, oh my God, look. I kid you not. My mum runs like no tomorrow, yeah? Runs to this pawpaw tree, takes off her slippers that she had on. She's now got her hands and her feet like, I don't even know how to explain it, like climbing up this pawpaw tree, like hands, feet, really, really fast. Gets the machete like this, and then like cuts it down. cuts it down so it breaks in half, and then the tree falls down like this. I was like, what the fuck did I just witness? About 5 minutes ago, you're telling me how you have arthritis and you can't walk. Now you're running and climbing up the tree like a monkey on Molly and cutting down a pawpaw tree where it splits in half, and then you ride down it as it falls down like you've done this before. Like, it was crazy. I wish I filmed it. I am not exaggerating anything that I'm saying right now. Exactly what I said. That's how it happened. She ran, she climbed up like that, she got a machete, started hitting it, it snapped in half, the tree fell down, and then she picks up the pawpaw and starts cutting it and puts it on her shoulder to climb up the hill to go back to my sister's place. Me, being her youngest son, you know, your mum's got arthritis, like, are you okay? Like, mum, like, give me that, I'll put it on my shoulder, it looks really heavy. No, you're not touching, like this, as if I'm going to steal her pawpaw. First of all, I don't eat pawpaw. I think pawpaw is disgusting. The only pawpaw I've ever eaten is when I put it in my lips, where you buy that red stuff for dry lips from Chemist Warehouse that every single Australian owns in their household. But yeah, my mum was so defensive, would not let me hold the pawpaw. I kept saying, mum, I don't eat pawpaw, like, let me hold it. No, this is mine. Anyway, she's walking up that hill on her shoulder, holding the pawpaw, singing a song, going, I got my pawpaw, I got my paw. She was so happy. And that was a true tall tale that I wanted to explain, because I really wish anyone else could be there, because I've just never seen someone climb up a tree and do that. It was literally like magical powers, but it made me laugh a lot and it made me cry a lot, because I was like, Mum, you are hilarious. That is hilarious. Anyway, guys, the last true tall tale I have of my mum. I hope you've been enjoying these true tall tales. It paints a picture of how hilarious and how much of a character and funny she is. She does light up the room. Anyone that meets her, anyone that knows her in real life or hasn't met her yet, she is really fun. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, to share some stories, because every mother out there for Mother's Day has her own true tall tale. And I wanted to share this of mine. In conclusion, this is the last story. This is the last story of my mother for Mother's Day for this bonus episode. So I was flying home after visiting my parents. I was flying home back to Sydney. Yes. And my mum dropped me to the airport. Now, my mum loves to drive because she got her license very late in life. I think she got her license at the age of 50, and it was a big achievement for her, and I love that. So anyway, she drops me to the airport. I think it was Proserpine, and she drove me there, and it was great. And then my mum's one of those people where she sits with you till the plane comes, and then she buys you something to eat, and then a drink, and then like chips to put on up. Like proper mum, man. Like mums that just know, you know, gonna be hungry on the plane. I know it's just a domestic flight, but at least you have this if you want something. It's like, Mum, it's okay, it's okay. No, take the drink, you know, take the lollies, take the chips, you know, in case you get hungry. You know, here's $20 just in case you want dinner when you get off the plane. Like mums are just the best, and they're just constantly worrying. All right, so as we know, mums can nag a lot, but if you look deep into it, it's not even nagging, it's just they're looking out for you and they're worried every day, which sounds horrifying. Anyway, so my mum drops me to the airport. She does that. She cries. My mum's a big crier as well. She was crying when she said goodbye. She was crying when I was on the tarmac. She was crying when I was like up the stairs. She was in the window like this at the airport, crying like this, waving. And yeah, it makes me very sad when that happens. But anytime that my mum's like that every time, so you kind of get used to it. Anyway, so I leave. I don't know this story of what happened. So my mum cries and goes to the car park to drive back home. As she gets there, her car is stolen. So look at me giving the story away. The car is not there where she parked it, and she's looking for her car. Fucking shit. Where did my car? Where it go? Why? To the left. She's looking everywhere, very confused, and realizes that her car's not there, and is horrified that, wow, someone's stolen my car. As I dropped my son to the airport, said goodbye, waved to him goodbye, and started crying. And now she needs to get home, and someone's stolen her car. Now, as I told you before, one of the biggest achievements is my mum getting her license at 50, and she loves her car, and she loves driving, and I just love that about her. And now someone's stolen her car. So my mum's very emotional, like I explained before. So now she's crying like, oh shit, someone stole my car. Oh no, darling. So my mum called the police or what so, and they come and, you know, whatever you got to do a report or something. and she says what time she got there. She was dropping me off. Someone stole a car. What type of car it is? Blah 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 blah. And then she's like, please ring my dad, which is my dad, her husband. So the police. I think my mum called the police, or they spoke to my dad because he had to come pick my mum up. Anyway, so my dad gets on the phone with one of the police officers at the airport, whoever was there with my mum. My mum's hysterical, right? She's crying. They're trying to calm her down. And my dad gets on the phone and says to the police officer, tell her she's a fucking idiot. So that's how my dad would say it as well, in a very nice way. That's just his Aussie humor. My dad said to the police officer, tell her to calm down and stop crying. Tell her she's a fucking idiot. She brought my car to the airport. So my mum actually drove my dad's car to drop me to the airport and not her car. So when she walked out of the airport, she was looking at her car. Of course her car wasn't there. She didn't take her car. She took her husband's car. And so she forgot about that. And then when the police officer told her, all her tears stopped and she goes, "Ay nako, oh shit. I did. I bring my husband's car. I'm so sorry for wasting your time." Don't you just love her? What a great story. She has many of these, so I just wanted to share some of them because they make me laugh. She has a lot of mishaps like this, but that's what makes her the character that she is. Thank you for giving birth to me and being my mother, and thank you to all the mums out there. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for tuning in for this bonus episode. Remember, we have a new guest on the show every Tuesday who's here to talk about their true tall tale. My name's Sonny Boy. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.